Right. Hello, Martyn.
Hello, Chris.
And tonight we're joined by the Newcastle Town Club captain, James Askey, for the third of our podcasts. So thanks for being here, James.
Cheers,
No
James.
problem, thanks for having me.
Not a problem at all. So, as per usual, I don't know if you've seen the ones that we've done so far with that clown
Yeah,
Joe
I
Slynn
had a
and
look at
also
them, yeah.
with your fellow
you seen them?
defender.
Yeah. Kyle Stubbs just kept saying I don't know, so
Well, it turns out he doesn't know a lot.
no.
Which is a bit of a shame, really.
No footwork as well.
If we no footwork, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we took out of that.
If we'd known beforehand that he didn't know anything, we might have thought twice about
I
who we
could have
had
told
on.
you that before we asked him. Yeah.
Okay. So, James, you know the format of these things already a little bit, so we like to have a bit of fun, but we also like to sort of find out a little bit about the people that sort of play for the club as well. So,
Okay.
it's great catching up with you because obviously you already, despite being a fairly young man, so you're young compared to me and him anyway. Right. You already had sort of very long, distinguished career at the club, so and you're from a family that has got its connections rooted into the town, into the football club as well. So,
Yeah.
tell us about the experiences you've had in these. Is it 10 years? Is it? You tell me.
I think last season was my 11th season at the club. So I signed in 2011. Seems a long time ago now. I was 19 when I signed. So John Diskin was the manager, who I sort of knew quite well. And he wanted me to sign. I was at Buxton at the time. Sort of played about 20 games for them in the Northern Premier League, sort of in and out. Obviously, a young lad, it's tough to make it at that age, at that level. So he asked me to come and sign because we sort of had a young team at that time. And so yeah, 2011, and then I had one season away, 2018-19 season. Signed for Stafford Rangers, who are obviously the league above as well. Actually finished.
Didn't realise he'd done that, bloody traitor.
Yeah, one
Disgraceful,
season
isn't
away, I know.
Didn't go far, though, did you?
No, ended up at Chasetown as well a couple of months towards the end of that season, and then Robin gave me a call. Well, not a call actually. I was up at Row Lane, so he sort of backed me into a corner, into a room, and said, "You're coming back," basically.
You didn't have a choice.
Yeah, you're coming back.
It's
But
quite
no,
a
he,
physical presence
yeah.
as well. You've got to think
Do
twice
as he
before
says.
saying no,
Yeah.
haven't you?
But no, he sat me down and just said, "We want you to come back," and the rest is history, as they say.
Wow.
And I've been back ever since.
Have you always been centre half, so Chris?
No,
Is that always
so-
been your position, or?
No, so when I first signed, I played right back. We probably had 4 or 5 seasons at right back, and then I think one season we had a bit of an injury crisis towards the end of the season, and I had no other centre halves, and I ended up playing centre half, did well, and then sort of when the manager year after, Scott Dundas, who obviously he's now Kisgrove manager, he obviously kept me as a centre half and sort of just played there ever since, really, until the last 3 games of
Yeah,
the
we
season.
saw a few right back appearances.
Yeah, which Paul, he said, he sort of, obviously he's been around non-league and stuff and knew me, and he said he'd seen me play right back and knew me as a right back when I was younger, so I think probably wanted to put Kyle Stubbs as a centre half, so just asked me to do a job at right back, so, and obviously like I said, he knew I could do it and I knew I could do it, but just it was a bit of a
Bit of a shock at the time.
yeah, just you have to try and get used to it a little
Get
bit,
your
but
bearings.
yeah, I think
Well, knowing what we do
Yeah.
now about Kyle's positional sense, I'd say running straight lines up and down is probably better for him.
yeah, I think so. But the only problem with him playing centre half is he can't take the throw-ins anymore, but
I didn't
Yeah.
notice about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
perhaps that's a good thing.
Maybe.
I don't think we ever scored off one, did we?
We got
Well, I
one.
know he lazzed one into the net
Oh
once,
yeah,
didn't he?
straight
Yeah.
in, but
Straight in.
Yeah.
We got
Don't
one,
count,
I think,
unfortunately.
away somewhere. I don't remember where it was.
yeah.
So, going back all that time, I say all that time, feels like yesterday to me, 2011 to be fair, but did you ever envisage that you would, 12 years down the line, still be turning out for the club? I mean,
Probably not. You think sort of 19, 20, you think, well, I thought I'm going somewhere where I can play regularly every week, do well, and hopefully you might get a move back up the ladder, which obviously everyone wants to do. But I think as the sort of few years passed, we started to put together a really good team, and a team of lads who we became friends forever. So the sort of team we had, I think it was 2015 where we finished third and got in the playoffs. That team, I think probably 8 of that team are still really good friends with, best mates. So I think it became a club where you wanted to be, and everyone wanted to be there, and we were best mates on and off the pitch. But then it sort of broke up. Some lads stopped playing, some lads moved on to different clubs. But I was always of the opinion of I didn't want to be one of those players that just kept moving everywhere in the non-league scene every single year or every couple of years just for the sake of a couple more quid, or just I just thought if I'm going to play or play around this level, I'm happy at Newcastle, and so that's why eventually I just ended up, and obviously I was made captain at a young age as well, so that was another factor. So I think all those things, it's just become, I suppose, part of my life, and it's become my club, I suppose.
Talk a little bit about the fact, because the name Askey is kind of like in the fabric of the club anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, before you came. So talk us a little bit about your family connections to the club as well.
Well, there's obviously, I wouldn't necessarily say it was before I arrived, but there's been obviously my uncle Bob. He managed the club for a while. Obviously my cousin Luke as well. He played alongside me. He's now managing Stoneold Lanians in the league below. My dad as well. He's been a part of the coaching staff and obviously comes to games every week and home and away. But I think
And always shares our Facebook posts as well.
yeah, I think
that's your old man.
I think he just spends his whole time, well, his whole life, just sharing Facebook posts about lots of
Be
things.
supportive, don't try to put him off.
But obviously, the family in terms of local football, there's a big connection, because my granddad Colin, he was played for Port Vale when they got to the FA Cup semi-final in 1954. Played at Villa Park in front of 80,000.
You remember that?
Yeah, you might not remember that one.
Low blow. Yeah, it was rather. Yeah, I do.
My Uncle John, again, professional football, spent many years at Macclesfield Town, managed them, won the conference with them, has gone on to manage Shrewsbury, York, currently managing Hartlepool. So, and then obviously other uncles who've all played non-league. So I think most people in the non-league in this area would know one of the Askeys, or if not all of them. So yeah, there's quite a lot of us. Yeah.
And that's why it's an Askey dynasty.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of us.
So tell us a little bit about, as well as playing, because you do coaching, you work with the youngsters. So tell us a little about what you do when you're not playing football for the club.
Yeah, so the business that we run with myself and Nathan and Sam, who are obviously two of my closest friends, but obviously business partners as well. We've got a coaching business, Ministry for Sport. So day to day we go into local primary schools delivering PE, after school clubs and all that sort of stuff. But we've also got a real close connection through myself and Nathan and Sam. We've been involved in the club, and through Gavin Appleby, which has been going for good 5 or 6 years now. So sort of quite involved with the junior section in terms of bringing in new young players and giving them coaching and pushing them through to the junior section. So there's that connection of, yes, I play for the first team, but it's also rewarding when you see players that you've coached then come and watch on a Saturday afternoon as well. There's like that connection of you play, but you also coach these people, and then they also come and watch with the parents. I think it's trying to create that community feel around the club and get everyone buying into it, which I think has got better over the last few years.
It's great. I saw some of I think the kids in Must Know you celebrating. I think you scored 3 against Mac at home last season.
Not against Mac.
Sorry, not Mac.
Bloody hell.
What was it?
You've got a transfer, we've done that.
Yeah,
Marky Drayton.
I scored 2 hat-tricks last season.
Yes.
Just literally dropped that one.
Yeah. That's a
Cole,
Tuesday night game, wasn't it? I
Colne
remember
at
that.
home, and then
Yeah.
Martyn Drayton on Easter Monday.
Yeah, I think some of them got kicked out actually for coming down.
Oh,
to
that was
celebrate. But
that was.
bit of a shame,
yeah.
really, but
He ran on the pitch, didn't he? Yeah.
yeah.
He did get kicked out. Didn't they let him back in after that?
Yeah.
Well,
It
good
was
idea.
good, yeah. I think plenty
Yeah.
of people I see round the sides, plenty kids right and screaming James.
Yeah, but like,
you know,
say I've been involved that long, I know probably virtually everyone
yeah.
at the club, from board members,
Sure.
coaching staff, parents, volunteers, children. So it is, it's like I say, it's a big part of my life.
Yeah.
So
Brilliant.
yeah.
Well, I have just forgot to plug where we are. Will? Oh, you can't hear me. But we are here at Crossways. Will's busy with a customer at the moment. Hello, sir. I'm just giving you a plug, just giving the bar a plug. So here at
I thought you
Crossways.
wanted another drink.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, yeah, can you keep your eye on that, please? So yeah, we're in the town centre at Crossways, which is the second time we've been lucky enough to come here and do our little podcast.
Hopefully not the last.
Hopefully not the last. Yeah,
That's how you behave.
well, it does, yeah, so it probably is. So, James, we talk about now a little bit about the where the club is at the moment from the way you see it, because Martyn and I sort of got involved fairly recently, and
Yeah.
things are moving, seems to be quite quickly.
Yeah, well, in terms of off the field stuff, like the academy and the junior section, and obviously the new 3G that's been built very quickly at Row Lane, it's been unbelievable, really. The work that Gavin has done, obviously with help from others, but mainly Gavin, has been unbelievable. And to see that 3G pitch now at Row Lane is just. I never thought I'd see something like that up at Row Lane. So it's.
But you're looking forward to get on there and train.
Yeah,
on it.
no, it's going to be brilliant. That all the training from under sevens up to the first team is all going to be at the same place.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. So the club won't have to rent different facilities and people dotted around. Everyone's going to be at the same place. So it's brilliant. And then obviously on the pitch, not going to lie, it's been frustrating for probably the last few years. I think when Robin took over, he had a job to do, which was keep us in the league, because I know the budget was pretty small when he took over. But I think sort of last few years it's got a bit stale. We wanted to push on. I think this season we started off really well, and we were towards the top end of the league, and then it just, for whatever reason, it tailed off, and we were quite lucky really that not lucky, I suppose we earned it, but we were lucky that we got the 2 wins when we did, or else we could have been in big trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy. I always feel a bit uncomfortable because certainly don't want to be critical, because Robin spent a lot of time managing, like you say, with a very small budget.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, the decision was made. He knew that it was coming towards the end of that time.
Yeah.
And he's still doing he's still involved with the club. But when it kind of changed right at the end of the season, that must have been a difficult time as well, though, because even like you say, things might have got a little bit samey. You still have your routine, don't you? Still kind of getting used to a certain way after a period.
Yeah, I think when
And actually, before you answer that first game of yours, which under the new gaffer, which you scored in, you're very suddenly being put in quite a different situation as well.
Yeah, I think when it got to the stage when we lost those 3 games in a row with, I think
The
it's
heavy margins.
Was it 6-1,
4, 5 and 6,
4 and 5?
Yeah.
I just think it got to that point where you see it, don't you? You see it in the Premier League, where a team just hits a brick wall, and no matter what the manager tries to do or the players try to do, it's just not working. And I think that decision, in looking back now, to just change something was the right decision, because whatever Paul did on that day at Leek, it was just different, and people might have been a bit shocked, but it was just a bit different, different voice, and it just perhaps got that extra bit from what from the players that we needed to get over the line. So, like I say, it's nothing on Robin or Grosey. It just got to that point where it happens, and like I say, you see
At all levels.
Yeah,
at
it's-
all levels.
it just happens sometimes. So
Yeah.
that change at that time just proved to be the right decision. Definitely.
It worked. Yeah.
And what are your sort of hopes then for into the new season? We've spoken to Paul.
Yeah.
He's obviously a very sort of positive, dynamic kind of guy. He doesn't look like he's at all shy about having to make difficult decisions,
No.
that's for sure. Where do you see it going?
Well,
You must have sat down and had chats, which I wouldn't expect you to divulge here.
I've spoke to him a couple of times on the phone, but that's about it really. He sort of updated me on his plans. So obviously, as a team and as an individual, you're always positive and you want to have a good season.
Yeah.
Which we wanted that last season and the season before. So
Well, you were right up to about the end of October.
so for me to say yes, we want to have a good season, and for Paul to say yes, we want to have a good season. Yeah, obviously we do, don't we?
Yeah, of
But
course.
I suppose different factors will affect if we do have a good season, which players he brings in, which players stay or which players leave, and
Because is that difficult now? Because I mean, we obviously see like the retained list, and there's people that are, I mean, well, we don't want to go into the details, obviously, but that's a tough time of the season for a non-league footballer, isn't it? You're not quite knowing where you're going to be, or
yeah. So I think our club's quite unique in terms of most players were on contract, so the club has the option for those that were under contract that they can keep them basically, or keep them under contract. So I think the majority of players have been kept under contract, or the option's been exercised. I know some lads have been let go, whether it was a mutual decision or Paul's decision, I'm not sure. But I think, like I say, every year, non-league, you just see people changing club, and it is a bit of a strange time really, because you don't, like for me, I don't know.
you have no idea who you're going to be playing with in
No,
August.
no basic. I know he signed a couple of players,
Yeah.
but I obviously don't know them, and I know they're from out the area, and I'm guessing Paul's sort of pool of players is going to
In
be.
that sort of Manchester area.
So whether that
Yeah.
creates a different dynamic or creates issues with players having to travel, or whether, I don't know.
It's different,
You just
isn't it?
never know, do you? But
Yeah.
It's going to be a different dynamic.
yeah, it's going to be completely different.
So
So
we've met a couple of the lads, haven't we? And they seem like pretty excited and pretty
Yeah.
up for it.
I
don't
mean,
they?
that fool, he's about 9'2". Isn't
Yeah.
he?
yeah. So
Oh, Johnny, bloody hell.
so you just never know. Like I say, hopefully we're going to have a good season. That's what we all want.
That's what we all want.
Yeah.
Right.
Excited.
Okay, so Martyn, I'm going to lead in now. We've got a section of this podcast which is got a very imaginative title. It's called Ask Askey. A bit of a play. You like what we did there? It's all right.
Very good.
Yeah, that
So
before.
got a few questions for you. So right, this is what people have sent in to us, and the first one is there a secret to your long career at Newcastle Town, or is it down to a strict diet of kebabs and lager?
I think yeah, definitely.
Oh, this is telling. That's a very telling pause.
I do like kebabs and do like lager actually, yeah.
That's a good
But
man. Good man.
I think probably in the earlier days, when you're obviously younger, you can get away with drinking and eating what you want.
Yeah.
But I have had to, especially like I'm not one of these natural athletes who can just not do anything for 6 weeks and then just go and run 5k in 18 minutes like Tommy van der Laan.
Not a problem I have.
Is
Yeah,
Is he freakish?
yeah. But so I'm definitely one of those people who's had to.
Oh, I'd love one. Thank you, boss. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah, I'm definitely one of those people who has to sort of look after themselves more than others.
Uh-huh.
So as I've got older, I've had to watch it a little bit more, and if you want to play into your 30s, you've got to sort of look after yourself more. So
the OJ?
Saying all the... Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was slightly disappointed when I saw that.
Yeah.
A couple of buddies in there.
Yeah. Saying all the right things so far.
Yeah.
But we will get him. We will get him. Question number 2. A little birdie told us that you're more than a bit handy banging out a tune on the mic. So, did a younger James Askey ever consider swapping the Theatre of Dreams at Buckmaster Avenue for the bright lights of sellout stadiums around the world?
I think the problem with that is it only usually happens after a few beers. So
Okay.
Yeah,
whether-
well, I'm sure that's the same for some of them singers and all, to be fair.
probably, yeah. But yeah, I don't mind getting up on the karaoke.
What's your
Megan on.
go-to track?
Different, really. I think the last one we had on the way back from, I can't remember where it was on the way back from, but I did a bit of Frank Sinatra actually that day. Yeah. So I've got a bit. Well, I can also.
You're croony. You're quite
But I
croony.
can also pull out a bit of Eminem as well. So there's a bit
Okay,
of,
yeah.
Wow.
Bloody
bit of
hell.
a range there. So
She's not only sort of like multi sort of tasking on the football field with all these different
Yeah.
positions, we forgot to mention Martyn. Cheers,
Yeah,
man.
everybody. Cheers. That's different ends of the
Thank you,
spectrum
what?
there, isn't it? Sinatra to Eminem.
Yeah, well, it's a bit like playing, you know, when he goes in goal and then he's
Yeah.
to bang the goals in at the other end.
He's
of the
in
goal.
goal.
that's it.
Right.
Did you ever play in goal as a kid or anything? Or was it
Must have done.
not-
We've seen you a couple
Not
of
in
times
games,
at goal.
but I used to play down the fields and stuff, and
Yeah.
used to enjoy throwing myself around and saving shots and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but never actually ever played in an actual match until last season. It's brutal. Was it brutal?
Well, he got
Was it
sent
this
off so many times. Poor old Slinny.
Was this season?
It was a
Was it
home
not
game
last
you
season?
did. You did a
So-
home game, didn't you?
Oh no, sorry. Last year was Widnes at home.
Right.
I went in goal. That's when Owen Mooney come off injured.
Yeah.
And then this year there was obviously Brutal and Mac.
There's
So-
another, what was the other one? Was there another? There was a third. City. Was it? No.
No, there's only.
He only got sent off twice.
And I only conceded 3 goals in the 3 games.
Yeah.
2 of them were against Mac,
Against
so
Mark, yeah.
not a bad
Got
record.
nutmeg done, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like, it's always brilliant as fans. I mean, I don't, you know, I just have the fan view of the game. It's always lovely seeing an outfield player go in goal.
And do well. And do
No,
well.
not so much go do well, but it just looks weird.
Yeah.
But it's like, what I notice is like, you know, it looks weird, you being in goal, because we don't recognise you being there, and yet somehow you're putting all these saves off. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, didn't realise that was part of the deal.
I think especially in the Mac game, because it was such a big occasion with a big crowd. I think with me being the captain, probably being older, I think it probably not just necessarily goalkeeping skills. I think it's more handling the pressure of the occasion. And
I was going to ask that actually. Sort of, how does that? How have you come to be the standing goalkeeper when things like that happens? Is it that basically what you've?
Or is it because everyone else is shit?
I think it just happened at Widnes at home last year. I can't remember why. I think I just said
Put your hand up.
I was the only one who said
Oh,
go
no.
in.
Yeah.
Do it.
And did all right, and then since then
Job
I've
for
just
life.
become the second choice keeper.
There you go.
So yeah,
We did all right.
Yeah.
Right, okay. We have sort of mentioned this a little bit already. Question number 3, James. So we've heard people talk about the Askey dynasty of Newcastle Town, and obviously we've already touched upon it. There's some proud family heritage there. But is it also like something to be fearful of? So you know, like when you mess up with an Askey, if you're going to end up carved up in bits and chucked in the Severn Trent and Mersey Canal. I mean, is it a scary side to it as well?
no, not really. I think
That's a terrible disappointment.
I'm sort of one of those people who just people try and give you advice and stuff. I just don't really listen to them. I just do my own thing really. So just get on with it.
Well, doing all right so
yeah.
far, sir.
Do you get a lot of stick off opposing with people knowing you, and
Yeah.
do you get more stick than others?
Yeah,
do you think?
I do actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get called fat quite a lot, which is a bit. I think it's a bit harsh.
Bit
Really.
harsh, yeah.
Hey, if they do that, next time they do that to you, send them my way.
Yeah. I get called some other words which I can't repeat.
We won't go there today.
So yeah, I do for some reason. I think it's
Get
just
all-
because I've played that many times against them. They just know me.
Yeah.
Jealousy.
Yeah.
Or Prescott away was the worst,
We did hear about
Yeah.
that. We
the
won't,
worst
we're not-
place in the world
Yeah.
that you could ever wish to go. But we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
I think we should. Right, okay. So next question. This is a good one. I don't know who sent this one in. Last season, when we couldn't score goals for shit, and you ended up being just 2 goals behind Jake Lovett, were you tempted to ask the gaffer to play up front and finish the season as our leading goal scorer?
Yes, especially the last game at Ramsbottom. But I did fancy myself said, well, I should have scored against Trafford. I missed a header. Yeah, I should have scored. That would have put me on 9 going into the last game.
Yeah.
Not
So-
that you keep account.
No, but I'd have fancied myself, to be honest. But I even fancied myself to score 2 against Ramsbottom, and I think I had 3 or 4 efforts. One was saved towards the end. So to be honest, I fancied myself to score every time I got for a set piece, to be honest. So
Yeah.
I don't think it matters necessarily whether I'm up front or at the back.
No, fair enough. Right, got 2 more for you. When you and Luke Dennis eventually retire, have you considered going into a fashion business together, selling headbands for the modern man?
Yeah, we have discussed it.
Yeah.
And what's the kind of thinking about this? I reckon you're in on that.
I think it could work, to be honest.
Yeah.
Probably, we do get, again, what you said about people commenting on stuff.
Yeah.
Get comments on that.
Surely
quite a
not.
lot from the opposition fans and opposition players. But no, I think
Yeah, I've heard some that can't be repeated.
I think we could definitely go with that.
Yeah. Keep it in mind.
Yeah.
But I want a 10% cut though when you make
Okay.
millions out
Yeah,
of it.
deal.
So I think you'll do all right there. And the very last one, this comes from me. You dropped this just before we started recording. He did this. He said, "Now we understand that your good lady Scarlett has got a month to escape a certain appointment. So tell us about that."
Yeah. She's got a month, so yeah, we
Do you reckon she's going to bail or?
possibly.
Yeah, okay.
I think there's a good chance. Yeah.
Well, first of all, you need to tell people what it is.
Yeah, and getting married in July, end of July.
Right.
So, yeah, been together nearly 10 years. So I think, like you commented, it's probably overdue, really. But no, yeah, it's exciting time.
Don't go out in pre-season.
Yeah.
Is she going to expect to see any changes as a result of marriage? I mean, sometimes these ladies can have a habit of trying to convert you into doing something that you weren't necessarily all that happy about. Not that she'll be watching. Don't worry about it, James. It's
No,
fine.
I don't
So
think
answer
so.
as honestly as you
I
want.
don't think so. No. Say she comes down most home games usually. But I think as you sort of get into your 30s, you start thinking about what you're going to do once you finish anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I think when you get into your 30s, every pre-season you sort of weigh up your options. Do I want to play? Do I want to go and play golf every week?
Yeah.
Or
You like a bit of golf, do you?
well, I've sort of played it a little bit, but it's definitely something I'll take up when I finish.
Yeah.
But no, it's not really, no.
You've got a few years left, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right. Well, I'll ask you the same question in September when you've got your head's hanging down.
Yeah.
And everything's on the rocks. No, sorry, Scarlett. I know that ain't going to happen. So it's all good. It's all good. So one more from me, and then I'll hand you over to Martyn, who's going to absolutely lacerate you.
Maybe.
You've made more than 400 appearances already for the club.
437.
Is
Not
it 437?
that I'm counting, but
You're not counting, that's good. Because
Yeah.
I spoke to someone else earlier today who's also not counting, a certain Dean Gillick.
yeah.
And you probably, I think he was counting actually.
Yeah.
He bulleted the answer back to me, which I've forgotten.
Straight away.
621, I want to say.
I think it's around about that. Yeah.
Is that in your?
Not really, no.
No.
Like I say, I'm just taking it season by season. I think if I hadn't had COVID, I'd be probably knocking on 500 now. But no, I don't really look at it, to be honest. Like I say, just take it season by season. If I'm still enjoying playing and I want to play, then I'll play.
Do
if
it.
not, if I decide one day I don't want to play, I won't play. Also, will say on Dean, his appearances were in the North West County, so I should probably get,
Shots fired.
Oh!
I should probably get double really for every appearance I've had.
Dino, I'm sorry, mate. I really am. Such a nice lad, and you go and do that to him.
No, it's just
Yeah, love that.
true, isn't it?
Right, go and crucify him.
Right, we'll do teammates. You've seen some of these before. You may have prepped some answers already.
I don't even know who my teammates are now.
Ask some different questions then, you
I
daft.
don't know who my teammates are.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start with that one that we talked about earlier. Who's a liability, not on the football pitch, on the night out? You like that?
Depends
Who's
what you.
a troublemaker?
Already mentioned him actually in this podcast so far.
Tommy?
Yeah, he can get a bit excited, should we say? Yeah.
Can you elaborate or best not?
Not really.
No. Fair play.
Some
Yeah.
things are better left to the imagination, aren't
Maybe we need to get Tommy on at some
But
point.
no, he's top lad, Tommy.
Yeah.
Very good friend.
Same.
they? Nice backtrack.
You got Tommy and Jack, obviously brothers,
Yeah.
but you probably couldn't get two different people.
Okay.
Yeah, very different. They are best friends,
Yeah.
but Jack's very calm and laid back, and Tommy isn't.
Not so
I
much.
see. So
Yeah.
he got quite excited. Even when he wasn't playing, we won a game, and he was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
pumped.
Yeah.
I was like,
Which one was that?
good lad.
Was that Clitheroe at home, was it? I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that was another game where I scored the winner.
Just get that in
Oh,
there. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
You just don't make it
Set
too
that
easy
up.
for him.
Yeah.
Come on.
Who's the most skillful in the team at the moment?
Not many.
Hopefully that's about to
Not many,
change.
not many.
God, that's.
You're gonna have to put yourself forward here, James. Is that what it is?
I'd say Ethan Bale.
Okay.
Obviously, unfortunately, he's going to be out for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think we missed him when
Yeah.
I don't think we
January,
realised.
wasn't it? And then
Yeah, I don't think we realised till after looking back how much we missed him.
Yeah.
To be honest, got us playing, got us ticking. So yeah, Ethan Bale.
Yeah, hopefully he recovers sooner rather
Yeah.
than later.
yeah.
Best trainer? Who trains the hardest?
I'd say Tommy. To be fair, yeah, he always gives his all. He always tries to get people going. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tommy.
On and off the pitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And who's the tough guy in the team?
Me by a mile.
Yeah.
That's not even. You don't even have to be that
Is
tough
that a
to be.
hat trick? I think did all three say?
You don't even have to be that tough to be the toughest in our team.
Yeah.
But no, definitely me.
Okay. Wow. Straight away there, wasn't it?
Yeah. Not short of confidence, the lad, is he, to be fair.
Speaking of speed, fastest.
Fastest, Luke Dennis.
Not yourself?
Definitely not.
No. Is Deno quite quick, is he?
Yeah,
We didn't get to see that as a
deceivingly,
centre-half.
deceiving. Yeah. That's why I like playing with him, because
Yeah.
he just gets me out of trouble
He
all the
makes
time. Yeah. No, he is.
You say you do the hard yards, Deno. That'll do.
Yeah, he is. No, he is. He is rapid.
Ooh, interesting.
Who else we got? Best singer. We touched on this a little bit.
It's your
Apart
man,
from me,
Apart from me,
best singer. To be fair, I know he's not the manager anymore, but Robin
Right.
Was he?
could get Bartak tune.
Does he
Yeah.
like a bit of ABBA by any chance?
I can't remember what he did. Was it Alan?
He was toe tapping to Abra after
He
a game,
was.
didn't he?
Yeah,
I can't remember what he sang, but it wasn't bad.
Impressive.
It wasn't bad actually. Yeah.
Awesome.
I always imagine him being more sort of a grunge or metal,
Yeah.
something
No, I
quite
can't-
dirty and
I
horrible.
can't remember what it was, but it was quite good.
Stamps. Fair dues.
I can't remember.
Crack on.
Most intelligent. Who would you say is the most intelligent in the team? But we'll go
Again.
most and least.
Again,
It's a very low
it's-
bar.
yeah,
Isn't
he's struggling a bit.
it? Yeah.
God.
You're gonna have to change some of it.
I would say,
It's really gonna
apart
happen.
from me, obviously.
Yeah,
Again,
clearly.
For most.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so most not least.
No, most and least.
I don't know. Slinny, to be fair, Slinny's he's an accountant, isn't he?
Accountant,
So
is
he can have that one.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
Gotta have
giving
something,
us
ain't
at
he?
least?
Yeah.
Are we having
Oh,
at
least.
Are we having at least?
God.
I think that's mean. I really do. Yeah. I think that's mean.
I
like.
think
I think the fans want to know.
I don't think. I think you could have anyone else.
Anyone.
Really. Yeah.
Good answer. Good
Yeah.
answer.
Like, captain's answer.
Yeah.
Catch his answer. Yeah, yeah. Always, always the diplomat.
Best dancer.
Best answer.
Most entertaining.
I would say Tommy again.
Tommy again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That goes hand in hand with the
Yeah.
liability.
It seems to me he's too lanky to be a mover at a dancer. It's so too. Surely it's too. When his arms and legs start to go, it must be like a bloody frog in a blender. It must be a nightmare.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so entertaining.
Yeah.
It could be. Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
isn't
yeah.
just
So it's
entertaining.
more
really.
entertaining
Yeah.
than being brilliant.
Yeah.
Or change that
Yeah,
question,
yeah,
most
yeah,
entertaining.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, good value, best value on the dance
Yeah.
floor.
This
Yeah.
one could be.
Well, come on,
something
spit it
else.
out, lad.
Fashion fail.
Well, I know that again, they're probably not going to be with us, but Luke Walsh, Maxwell Chimnez, and Joe Thompson.
The three of them together?
Yeah.
Like the three amigos?
Just like, yeah,
Yeah.
the hair and
So
all
all
that
three
sort
of
of
them get
stuff
that one.
going on is a bit different, should you say? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A bit different.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll
give us a bit more than that.
yeah, I don't know. It's just like they got the hair and it's.
Well, at least it was easy to
I think
recognise.
there was a picture the photographer took of them all entering the stadium one
I
day.
think I know which one you mean. with
Yeah,
the
yeah, I was
sunglasses.
on the
Yeah,
photo
someone
on
had
the pitch that day.
sunglasses on. And
Yeah, yeah, he did. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember.
that one.
That was interesting.
yeah. Interesting.
Right.
And then the last one is who's Mr. Grumpy.
Mr. Grumpy. Mr. Grumpy. Ethan Bale.
Patrick Freeman.
He
Exactly.
Yeah.
more
I think.
more
no,
of,
actually.
more of a moaner really than
Yeah, it's
Grumpy.
whingy, isn't he?
Just very whingy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
I have to tell him to shut up a lot,
Yeah.
even though I
Yeah.
do love him. But he
That's
does. He is annoying at times.
Slinny definitely said Ethan. I can't remember what stuff he said.
I think he might have gone the same.
Yeah,
he might have gone the same.
he never stops whinging at referees.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Yeah,
It's funny.
it's annoying.
Because you've got to go in
I've
and
seen
sort
you
it
have a
out.
couple of times.
Captain
James.
over here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you can be pretty vocal, I've seen.
he just never stops.
I think that was making him tick, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
Cool.
That's teammates. Nice one.
it?
Brilliant.
Right, James. Thank you very much for your time. I'll try that again.
Yep.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Because I've had 2 beers now.
They're not even behind.
I know. Thank you very much for your time on the podcast.
No
man.
problem. You're
We
welcome.
hope these
Cheers.
seasons are going to be
Thank you very
a
much.
good one. It's exciting times for the club.
Indeed.
And, yeah,
Lovely.
bring it on.
Brilliant. Thank you.